need to be disciplined, and it was all culminated in those years that I spent in athletics at Toronto County High School. We had a great coach, Harry Geldine. Some of you will remember Harry took over as the head coach, I guess my sophomore year in high school. Of course, he had a tremendous record down at the University of Wyoming of his own back in the early 50s. One of the highlights of my time with Harry was when I was invited a few years ago to speak to a joint session of the Wyoming legislature. I was the vice president then, and it was a big deal to be invited back because my first political job was in 1965 when I was an undergraduate at the University of Wyoming. I was an intern, and that first internship was in the Wyoming State Senate. And I can remember that one of the things that happened that year was a guy named Hubert Humphrey, newly elected Vice President of the United States, came and addressed a joint session of the Wyoming legislature. Fast forward about 30 years, and I was invited to come address a joint session of the Wyoming legislature after I became Vice President by my good friend Joe Meyer, who played on the same team with me, and Mike Golden, who was the Supreme Court chief of the Wyoming State Supreme Court, and I got together, and Joe had managed to invite Harry Geldine to come back down. He used to live in Star Valley, invited him to come down. We had a mini reunion that day and relived the glory days of when we were all playing football together under the coach. My football career was put into perspective when we had I think it was our 25th high school reunions. And one of the guys came up with the old game films, black and white, shot with a Super 8 camera back in the 1950s. We played night games most of the time, and the lighting wasn't all that good, and it was pretty hard to see. But we all got very excited. Those of us who played on the team got together, and the coach came and spent the afternoon with us, and we reviewed all those old game films. And it was terribly depressing. Because over 25 years after you left the sport and left high school, you had memories of the games you played, and the block you threw, and the game with Warland, or the touchdown pass you caught, or the puck you caught, or the tackle you made. And over 25 years, your memory is of those important. You had an opportunity to talk with your teammates from time to time. And the great game we played against Rock Springs, used to be Rock Springs all the time, by the way. We sat down and watched those movies that afternoon, and we saw what we were really like, 25 years before when we were playing the game, and we weren't nearly as good as we remembered after 25 years. But sports played an enormously important role in my life. The coaches, Harry Geldine, and Don Weishauer, and Bob Lottie, were all teachers. But when Harry got to go full-time as head coach, it was a boon to the community. It was a tremendous experience, life experience for me and for all of my colleagues who were part of that. And I think back to all of the things that I've done since and been able to do. I know an awful lot to the values that were communicated to me and taught to me by my coaches in high school. Now, that's 55 years ago. We're going to have our reunion of our class, and here in early August, it'll be the 55th reunion of the 1959 graduating class. I'm eager to get there. We'll have a great time, but we won't watch those old movies again. I'd be happy to take questions if there are any that come to mind. If you got anything you want to ask, I will do my best to respond.